What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Cantina Talk. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So, we are now in the mid-season point of Ahsoka, and I just wanted to give my mid-season predictions. We now only have 4 episodes left of the show, and I want to get this out before episode 5 gets released. I've been enjoying this show so far, and now we literally have 4 shots left that we have seen, so everything is going to be new, and I cannot wait for it. So, I'm going to go ahead and start this off. My first prediction is going to be that we're going to get a Clone Wars flashback with Anakin and Ahsoka training, and I really hope that this is going to be with Anakin and his Clone Wars armor. Ever since the show was announced, I believe back in either late 2019, early 2020, I have wanted to see, in some sort of flashback, Anakin and this Clone Wars armor in live action. This is one of the things that I've always wished to happen, and ever since I was a little kid seeing him in it, I just wanted to see Hayden in the armor one time. And I hope that we're going to get this in the show, and I believe that we will. Some of you might not want that, and I completely understand it, but that's one of my predictions. The second one is going to be a fight between Anakin and Ahsoka on Mustafar. I believe this is going to take place in the World Between Worlds, and Anakin is going to be showing Ahsoka that no matter if she was there, or even if she didn't walk away from him, that he was too far gone at this point, and there was no way of turning him back, even if she had beaten him. I believe Anakin is going to tell Ahsoka that at this point, everything he was doing was for Padme, not the Republic, not for Ahsoka, not for Obi-Wan, strictly saving Padme. I believe that Ahsoka is going to have to come to terms with this, and will stop blaming herself for not being there for Anakin. And this is kind of going to segue into the third prediction I have, and that third prediction is going to segue into the fourth one as well. I actually believe that this show takes place right before Book of Boba Fett, in the episode where Ahsoka's in it, where she already knows Luke. I believe that in some way, shape, or form, Anakin is going to tell Ahsoka that his son had restored balance to the Force, and that she has to go find him and meet him, that being Luke. That would explain how she already knows Luke, and that would set up perfectly a Luke Skywalker mention. And with that, my third prediction is going to be having a mention or a cameo of Luke Skywalker. I made a video on his Jedi Academy appearing, and at the end of that, I was talking about how, at the end of the show, I believe the good guys are going to lose, and that Ahsoka is going to have to go to Luke and tell him that she needs his help, and there we'd see like a young Ben Solo, or even Jason Syndulla training. That was before Jason had shown up in live action, however, so now I believe that it's going to be probably Hera dropping off Jason to Luke, if we had to guess. And that ties right into the fourth one, where I believe that Jason will start being trained at the end of the show by Luke Skywalker and partially Ezra. Really cool to see, and I believe that Jason will become a Jedi because he's going to want to live up to his father's name and make his father proud, that being Kanan Jarrus. And this will also lead into the fifth one a little bit too, and that being that Ezra will be reunited with his saber. Due to the last episode, when Sabine picked it up, we spent an oddly long amount of time looking at the saber and seeing her grab it. And we know now that she got disarmed, and that Shin definitely has the saber, so that'll be in the New Beyond with Ezra. Ezra will have something to defend himself with when we see him in the New Beyond, in the New Galaxy. For my sixth prediction is that Thron is going to come back with an army, and the show will end up with a cliffhanger setting up Heir to the Empire. I believe Thron is going to come back in full force, and it's going to be a huge, massive threat that the New Republic didn't want to believe was possible, and that they're going to learn the hard way. Thron will not lose this time. I'm 100% sure that Thron is done with losing. Thron is done with giving them chances. Thron is done with letting them get away with things. We're going to have Infinity War Thanos level threat on our hands when Thron comes back. With that, my seventh prediction is going to be that Balon's skull is going to end up dying. Now, I did think this before Ray Stevenson had died, and once again, R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. I believe somehow, some way, Balon is going to die at the end of the show, and Shin is going to have to carry on his legacy. I also believe that Balon is Shin's father, and that he's going to die in some way, sacrificing himself to save Shin, turning Balon back to the light. I also believe that Shin is going to go at the end of the show, and is going to go hide out, and meet Talon Karrde, or some sort of character that is replacing him. Could be Hondo, or even could be Boba Fett. And that's going to segue into my eighth prediction, and that is that Morgan Elsbeth and Ahsoka are going to have this giant fight, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to see Night Sister magic being used in so many cool and creative ways. And the way I'm looking at it in my head is kind of like in Loki Season 1, when all the Lokis are together fighting in the void against Goliath. I think this is going to be like that. We're going to see magic on a giant scale that we haven't seen it before, especially Night Sister magic in Star Wars. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Morgan Elsbeth and Ahsoka are going to fight. Now, you might ask how I'm coming about this. Well, Diana Lee, who is also the granddaughter of Bruce Lee, who had said recently in an interview that there's going to be this fight between her and Ahsoka, so this is where I'm basing that off of. I really think this is going to be cool, and I really hope we get to see it in the show. And honestly, I think with the fight on Corvus, if Morgan Elsbeth didn't want to get captured, she wouldn't have. I believe this is all orchestrated all together in some big plot, and she needed Ahsoka to get the orb from Arcana, thus giving her the location. I'm gonna go ahead and lead into my ninth theory, and that is gonna be Tara Morrison showing up as Captain Rex in some way, or shape, or form. I don't know whether it's gonna be them trying to meet with a New Republic doctor or surgeon to try and stop Rex's accelerated aging, since Rex would be in his late 70s, early 80s at this point, and is going to be close to kicking the bucket. Either that, or I believe Rex is going to die, kind of like how Clone 99 did, and that being him sacrificing himself for either Ezra, the Ghost Crew, or Ahsoka, and is going to go out like a hero, and with the line, "Good soldiers follow orders." I think it'll be really cool to see Rex in the show, and I really hope that we do. I love Rex, and I just want to see him. I want to see Rex with Ahsoka in live action just one time. And with that, my last prediction is going to be that Din Djarin and Grogu are going to show up in some way. Either just Din or just Grogu, I don't know. I would really like to see Din, maybe even in episode 5 in some way, or later on in the show. I just feel like Din is going to be the thing tying everything all together, but I could be wrong. But with that being said, I'm very interested to hear what you guys think we're going to see in the last half of the show. Also, just a quick reminder, this Sunday, episode 5 of Cantina Jargon will be releasing, and with that, there's going to be a guest on the show, and that is going to be Star Wars Sith, aka Tony. I hope to see some of you there. These have been really fun doing with myself and Joe, and I cannot wait for this week. Without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and remember to get yourself some Cantina Talk merch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and lastly, may the Force be with you all.